Hello, this is the Old Sage coming to you from Hartsville, Indiana. I'm an astrologer. I own Celestial Time, and I'm starting a series of the signs through the months. We've started with Gemini because Gemini just came in 2 days ago, but I'm going to start with the month of June. But first, let's begin with what is happening in the heavens, and then we'll apply it to what's going on in your personal sun sign. But what's happening in the heavens? One of the big things that is happening is for Gemini. Gemini, the Sun and Mercury are in Gemini right now, and that's normal because Mercury never goes but 28 degrees away from the Sun. So your communication skills is part of the reason that Gemini is known as a talkative, because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury's in its sign. And when Mercury's in the sign, it's yakety, 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 yak when you have the ruler of a sign in a sign. And opposing that, which has been happening for a while, is Jupiter. Jupiter gets along well with Gemini, except that Jupiter is what we call Uncle God, and it's way too much of a good thing sometimes. So you can find yourself quite easily just talking too much, just trying to explain yourself a million times a million, and never really getting your point across, or never feeling like you're getting your point across. That aspect sits as an aspect. Mostly the only thing that bothers it too awful much is it's got a T up to Neptune, and Neptune's in Pisces. A T means that it's 90 degrees away from both the Gemini sun and across the heaven. Jupiter's in Sagittarius, and so the energy that accumulates, just like a cue ball, goes to the T, and Neptune sits in Pisces, which also Neptune rules Pisces. So this makes a very strong connection, but it's not really a bad connection, especially if you're a creative artist. If you want to make something, do something, use your imagination, use your creativity. It will also allow you to be a storyteller. It's a great time for artists and authors and things like that, because the energy is there to pull in the imagination and to put it into practical words and to make it work. There's a beautiful trine, and it's a trine with a sextile in the middle of it that also ends up with this Neptune. So that's a real helping hand. And the trine is, right now it's the moon, but the moon changes every couple of days. So right this minute it's the moon, but Venus is involved. And since this is the chart of the beginning of the sign, for the whole month it's going to be like the moon and Gemini are together, or the moon and Venus are together, and they're together in Taurus. Taurus, Venus rules Taurus. So your deepest desire, which is the moon, is going to want to really have what it feels it needs, and it will get what it loves, what it needs. There's a lot of positive energy in that direction right now. The other side of the trine, it's got Saturn and Pluto in it, and Saturn and Pluto have been in Capricorn for quite some time, and they will be for another year. Saturn or Jupiter, excuse me, I'll get it right. Pluto longer, because Pluto takes a lot longer to go through a sign. But Saturn is the hour hand of the zodiac, and that's the strongest thing in your chart wherever it lands. So Saturn is the hour hand. It's called it Father Time. Saturn and Pluto together are making changes happen, especially in the Capricorn energy, or the work, the government, the service, the powers that be are being transformed. I don't know if you can look out in the world, you can certainly see that. Okay, and then Neptune is in the cradle of that trine. So even though Neptune is hit by the square from Mercury and the Sun and Jupiter, it still has that help. So the Pisces energy, the energies of healing and of the psychic, the intuitive, the healer, the all of the higher echelons of Pisces are all pretty much metaphysical doctors, people who want to help and heal. On the flip side, we're also seeing all the energy of addiction, which is Neptune and Pisces, for the last few years, the addictions have become stronger and stronger, and we see them more. And when something needs to be healed, it comes to the surface. So it's coming to the surface to be healed at this time. And the Gemini energy is going to talk about it, communicate about it, try to expand on it, see what they can do to make it better. Of course, there's going to be a lot of back and forth, but it'll turn out to be all right. The next thing that's going on is another opposition to that Saturn and Pluto, and that is coming from Mars. Well, Mars takes a couple months for Mars to go to a sign, but right now in your chart, in the heavens, whatever birth chart that you have, and no two people have the same chart, that Mars energy is accelerating all that we're trying to learn through Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. And that Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn will transform the government, the business, the big business, things like that. It'll take a while, but that's what's on the plate. That's what's going to be happening. I'll go through each one of your signs one by one, but in this one, I just want you to know what we're working with, the biggest things that we're dealing with. If you take your own chart, and like I said, everybody's got a chart that's different from anybody else's. Even if you're twins, generally, you're not. There's one older than the other. They don't come out at the same time, and even though you have a chart that's the same, you may have I have a great grandson who was just born today, and so this chart is very close to his chart. So we know that he's going to be here to help bring about the change that is necessary in the world of business, in the world of form, and who's in charge and who's on top. But his chart, when you apply what's happening to his chart, you get how it could go with him. Now, where you came from, your status in the world, the same. You could be born in Pakistan and have an entirely different set of circumstances if you're living in Pakistan than if you're living in the United States or Canada or Europe or someplace. Plus, the social status that you have, we pick all that. We're souls, and we choose the chart that we have. It doesn't happen to us. There's like synchronicity in the universe. If you're an astrologer, you can't miss it. You see it happen over and over. I've been an astrologer since 1971, so I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. And it's just, there's no coincidence. There's none. Things happen for a reason. People are born on time. They come in with a purpose, and they come in with a place, and they come in with the parents that they choose. And when you know your birth chart, and of course you already know your parents, you know your circumstances, you can best apply the energies that are available to your life path, and really understand what you came here to do and why you came here to do it. Not that you won't know anyway, not that you won't walk through your life, but any help is wonderful. So you can click down there and like and save. To subscribe there to my website is celestialthyme.com, CLESTIALTHYME.com. And on the website, there's a place to get a chart made. If you would just like a chart made so that you can join us and move along with us, I answer questions, and if you subscribe, I can see you, and we can communicate. My email is there, revlorena@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to make sure that you at least have your chart. If you would like your chart read, then that depending on what kind of reading and how much time and how much detail you want to go into, it will depend on how much it costs. But I assure you, I'm here to help. So give me a like and a share and a save and all the good things that you do down here in the YouTube world. and I'll see you again. Thank you so very much for tuning in.